Hi there and welcome to the Project Corner. I'm excited because last month there was a very big update by Microsoft for Project for the Web. I'm not going to cover that here, but I'm going to tease it a little bit because it's a big topic and I want to have a dedicated video for that. What I am going to cover today is the 3 updates that were mentioned in the August update blog. So let's head over to the machine and let's have a look what that means for us as users for Project for the Web. So here we are at the August update blog by Microsoft, and I'll put a link in the show notes, obviously. What we're going to cover today is assigning tasks without sharing. Now remember that was also mentioned in the previous blog article by Microsoft, but this time it actually works. So we'll have a look at that. Then there is a very technical piece about the API support for extensibility. Now, I am not a developer and I wasn't able to figure out a way to get this working for me or provide you with any useful updates here. There's an extensive blog article that covers everything you need to know for the APIs and how to perform operations on the scheduling entities. And we'll have a brief look at that. Then, getting back into my comfort zone, we're also going to go have a look at reports and Power BI templates, because roadmaps are now widely accessible for Power BI templates. So let's head on over to our project environment and let's have a look at the August 2021 update project. I already created something here, also adding previous updates such as the notes, such as the view attachments. I could even create a new type of project field, obviously. But what I'm curious about now is adding Miriam to the team without adding her to the Office 365 group. So if I click on the assign to and I start typing Miriam and I click on Miriam van der Herk, there is a new update. Project has not been shared yet. This project has not been shared with the group yet, and assignees will not be able to see their assigned tasks until it is shared. Would you like to continue assigning this task or share the project with a group? That is very interesting because if I click on add a group, we get the functionality that we already know and have worked with previously. But if I click on just assign, Miriam is now assigned to the project, but she will not be able to see the August 21 update because she isn't added to the group. Here you also see that there's no group created yet because Miriam has been added as just a resource. This is very powerful for instance, secret projects that you want to have without having people doing things within your project, because as you know, Miriam with a P3 license will also have the ability to change your project as soon as she is added to the team. So this now works as intended, as described in the previous blog article as well. Looking at the API support for extensibility, I mentioned previously that I am not a developer, but I can get excited for the possibilities that developers would be able to do here. This means that there is now an API that can create, update and delete projects, tasks and dependencies, as well as resource assignments for team members and project buckets. That means that there's a wide range of programmability that is now accessible for everyone that needs this. So if you're building your own app, build on the scheduling engine of Project for the Web, now you can interact with that without touching the application itself. So as mentioned, there's a wide article that is 10 minutes to read, very, very technical. There's logical names, there's operating sets, there's yes, no's, there's a lot of no's with some yeses. So be aware that if you are a programmer, you might want to look into this and see what Project for the Web APIs can now do for you and your organization. For the last update, roadmaps in reports, let's have a look at what roadmaps can already do. Navigating back to Project Home, I have my August 2021 roadmap. I can click on this and I have a nice little overview of a couple of projects that I want to follow along with in this roadmap. Now I can add my project that I just created, connect the project, and here is the August 21 update. After a short while, it will ask you to update a connection. And once that connection is made, you can now select key dates and phases and add them to the roadmap. So here we are, have a phase summary, a milestone. Let's leave this milestone out and just put in the end of the project. And I can click on Erik as being the owner of this roadmap item. As probably everyone knows already, this doesn't need to be the project manager, but could also be a sponsor talking to the portfolio manager. So Erik will be the owner of this. He will be the person to update the management. And let's set that way all on track. And that we have a little risk with the end of the project here. I'm already preparing for the update video for September, as you can see, and everything looks green. So now that I have this small update here, and be aware the titled untitled project from previous videos is all the way back here. So it's still there, but we're mainly focused on this part here. I don't need to save or do anything here. I can just move back and I can navigate to Power BI. So after restarting my machine, I now have the speed back in Power BI. So after restarting, I now have the power back in Power BI. I have my option to select values here, and I can also go to the roadmap details page. In here is more information for your roadmap, and if I select the August 2021 update, I can see that there are two values here in red. And these are the two values that we've seen in the roadmap itself during the demo of that part. What I also see is that the links aren't actual links here. And I want to give you a short introduction on how to update that. We have the roadmap external link item, or the roadmap external item link, and we have the roadmap URL. All right, so let's find the URL first. That's this one. If I select it and I click on the uncategorized and I click on web URL, I can see that this will update to a nice clickable link, which is exactly what was the intention of this report, obviously. And the other one was link, a roadmap external link, and if we select that one and I click on web URL, this will also update correctly. Now take a look at that. That updates very nicely in our report. I can even look at all the high risk items within all of the roadmaps that I have, and I can directly click to any of those roadmaps and open them up and see what is actually at risk. So just before we leave, as mentioned, there is a big update that came with Project for the Web, and that is the use of resource bookings with Project for the Web. You now have the option to request and get assigned resources for your project in Project for the Web. Now, because this is a big update and there's a lot to cover that isn't covered in the app, that isn't covered in the blog itself, I want to do a full-blown video on this topic. So if you like that idea, subscribe to the channel and you'll be notified when that hits. If you like this video, please click on that like button, and I will see you next time.